Hello everyone and welcome to episode 1 of the Wizard101 Console Edition Let's Play series. Now, I'd just like to say, as I get into character create here and absolutely spam and mash through this, first off, a few things. One, to anyone who is enjoying my death Let's Play, I'd first like to say I do apologize because obviously, if you didn't know, I had literally zero idea that Console Edition would come out within, like a month of me starting to make that. So I had like no idea that it was going to be kind of that fast of a turnaround, which unfortunately meant it kind of killed my desire to play that Let's Play because I obviously want to quest on console and I want to, go through the game while there's the most amount of people there. And obviously, if I'm questing on PC, I'm going to be very much less likely to do that. So I asked you guys, I was like, what do you guys want to see? Would you guys rather see me restart, or would you rather see me like quest up a Death Wizard? Most of you guys voted for completely restarting fresh, and then a lot of people, I was seeing a lot of comments being like, hey, if you start fresh, you should not do death because everyone on console is doing death. And I was like, you know what? Fair point. You bring up a fair point. So what should I do instead? I left it to a vote. I voted for a few options. There was ice, where I focused a bit on resist maxing on ice. There was minions for a myth, which probably would have only lasted for like arc 1 before I abandoned that concept. Fires doing DOTs, and then I forget what the last one was, but that was the basic gist of it. There was 4 options, and it was just balance was the last option. And I would say that this was actually my preferred option, I think. Either that or fire with DOTs. But I did want to do ice, and there's a few reasons for that. First off, I've never really made an ice that's made it that far. Actually, that's a lie. I have a level 160 ice, but that was when I was like a kid, and I haven't quested on one through the game in a very long time. And also the fact that, it's different and it's going to be potentially a little bit more difficult. So, here I am. Let's get into it. Now, I'll start off by saying that if you want, I will probably upload a few of these in advance at all times and have them for channel members early. So if you want, you can become a channel member and get the episodes early. If not, that's fine too. Just wait for them to come out. I'm thinking of doing 3 to 4 times a week for these and then do regular videos in between them. So if you are scared that my regular videos are going to go away, don't worry. I'm still going to be doing regular videos. What's a good, like, Snow Veil? Snow Venom. I kind of like Snow Venom, actually. Snow Venom is, like, weird, but I like it. You know what? I'm going to go with that. So, let's get into it. There's a few things that you guys might not expect, or might be different from usual. First off, I'm wearing a giant headset. It's because, otherwise, if I want to be able to hear the audio of the game, you guys won't be able to... I won't be able to hear it, or you won't be able to hear it, depending on, what I do, because... obviously, I don't want it to pick up through my monitor into my mic if I have, like, speakers. So, headset is staying on, unfortunately. I don't really like wearing the big, bulky headset, but that's okay. I'll do it anyway. Oh, hey, there's someone here with me. Oh, I didn't manage to discard those. That's okay. So, today's episode, I'm probably going to just get through most of the earlier game, like... the beginning of the game. But let's talk a little bit more about what this series is going to be, because similar to the last series, basically what this is going to be is it's going to be me questing through the game, so you can quest alongside me, or you can listen to me talk as you fall asleep, whichever you'd prefer. But I'm going to be questing through the game and kind of just talking about things that you guys might want me to talk about, whether that be about Wizard101 or about me as a whole, or generally other things like that. Talking about, questing through the game while playing through the game, that kind of stuff. So that's going to be basically what this Let's Play is going to be. So if that doesn't interest you, then just stick around for my normal videos and skip these. That's fine by me. I'd prefer you guys to watch all of my videos, but if you don't, that's fine too. Today, let's talk a bit about me, because there's a lot of new viewers around, so a lot of you might not know a ton about me. You might just see me as, this is this is Kaiser Noah. You know, that's him. That's the face behind the channel. But you might not know much about me as a person. You might not know much about like the history of my channel. So let's talk about it a little bit. So first off, I am 23 years old, if you didn't know that. Born in July of 2002. So I am, I'm getting up there in age. I'm already almost Unk status. Some of you might even consider me Unk status already. I've been making Wizard101 videos since I was 16 going on 17. I obviously had some before that. Like, there was a Let's Play with my friend that I made when I was 12, I believe. So that would have been 2014. That's, I don't believe that's up on YouTube anymore, but it exists. And that was crazy because it was before my voice had dropped. So I sounded like a literal child because I was a literal child. I mostly make videos on YouTube for, you know, because I enjoy it, the passion of it. This never really was like an idea of a career for me, and obviously it's not going to probably ever be a career because there's no way I can consistently make Wizard101 videos interesting for the next, you know, however many years of my life. But, you know, I'm enjoying it. The channel's been exploding recently, which is really awesome to see. Like 3,000 subs in a month is crazy. That's more than I've ever gotten ever in the past. And it's just cool. So, you know, it does mean a lot to me. And, you know, as someone I've been making Wizard101 videos pretty consistently over the course of 5 to 6 years now. It's cool to finally, like, actually see something come of it, you know? And I think that that's it's kind of like, you know, if you keep persisting, eventually you will manage to do what you want to do. So, a little bit more about me. If you don't know, there are, you know, people comment on it significantly less than they used to, mainly because, you know, a lot of people might... Oh, that's not the button I meant to press. I meant to press mark location. I went to the comments. That sucks. Oh god, the FPS. Help me. Help me. You might have seen it in the comments a few times or watched my old videos and noticed I've lost a lot of weight in my life, specifically in the last year. It isn't a consistent thing that I've lost weight over years. In June of 2024, I weighed 332 pounds, which for all of you British people, that's like 150 kilograms, which is a little bit overweight if you didn't gather that. I've been overweight my entire life, like since probably first or second grade is when I started like gaining weight. And you know, it's been a thing that I've lived with for a long time, and it's one of those things that when you are overweight, it kind of feels hopeless. Like, it feels like you're never going to be able to lose weight, and it's really, mainly, it's because you're either addicted to food or because you are addicted to not exercising. In either case, sometimes it can be both, but the point is, when you're overweight, it does feel pretty hopeless, and eventually, what you really need to do is you need to have that moment where you're like, I'm done being overweight. I hate how I look. I hate how I feel. I need to change this. That's what you need, because you can't really just do it on a whim, be like, hey, I want to lose weight one day. I feel like it really needs to be like a full change. Like, you need to be driven to change. And that's how it worked for me. It was like in June of 2024, June 1st, like, I remember it happening. I was overweight, I was unhealthy, and I remember looking down, like, while I was standing around and looking at my feet and being like, man, my feet look a little blue, because my circulation was that bad, because I was overweight. And the idea of being so overweight to the point where, you know, your circulation isn't good, which, by the way, my family just has bad genetics for circulation, but, like, you know, when I was overweight, that's not what I was thinking about. I was just thinking about the fact that I was really overweight. And, you know, I changed. And admittedly, you know, a lot of people have asked me how I did it. The way that I did it, I'm having a stroke, and I can't solve that through editing. I mean, I can, but I'm not going to, because these are going to be largely unedited. A lot of people ask me how I did it, and I did it in a very unhealthy way at first. Like, I just kind of cut out calories completely, cut out carbs completely, and basically just went all in. And funny enough, at first I didn't even really exercise that much. Like, I almost was just purely based on diet losing weight. And in the first month I lost like 30 pounds because basically I literally just didn't eat. For a month straight, I had like 500 calories a day, which is not healthy. That's not sustainable, and if you're ever trying to lose weight, don't do that to yourself. Don't starve yourself, because it's not the best way to lose weight. The best way to lose weight is to make a set plan of calories, make sure that there's a calorie deficit, and then stick with that for a while. And realistically, you can eat whatever you want as long as you're sticking under that calorie limit and still lose weight. Now, you won't be healthy. That guy just died to a dark fairy in the background. How did he do that? You obviously want your macros to be good. Like, you want to have high protein and low sugars. But you'll find that naturally, if you're eating low-calorie foods, you're probably going to be doing that naturally anyway. So for the first few months, I was eating very unhealthy, and I wasn't exercising at all. And then I think it was in October, and I lost about 60 to 70 pounds at that point, is when I decided to start exercising, and that really, you know, helped me stay fit. It helped me not only lose weight, but maintain muscle, so that I didn't just, you know, suddenly become a twig and have a bunch of loose skin. It helped me maintain the weight that I wanted to maintain, but lose the weight I didn't, which was fat. So I lost weight pretty fast, and by June 1st of 2025, so 1 full year, I weighed 187 pounds, which is 145 pounds lost, I believe, in total. And right now I'm at 182, so obviously it's been another 5 or 6 months, and I've only lost, you know, 5 more pounds. But to me, that's much more acceptable, because it means, you know, I'm only losing like 1 pound a month, which is much better and much more able to be held for a while than what I was doing before, where I was basically starving myself, which I could talk about this all day. I spent like hours and hours and hours of my life researching so much about losing weight when I first started, which obviously don't take me as like a doctor or someone who is an expert on the topic, but when I first started, I was just obsessed. Like, I was watching cooking videos constantly. I was watching people talk about the best ways to lose weight, the best ways to exercise, and when you really get into that obsessed mindset, it becomes your life, you know? And I feel like that's part of it. If you really want to get healthy and lose weight, you need it to become you. Like, you have to embody that.
You're a tiny, joyful voice calling your name.
And now, you know, I exercise every day. I haven't skipped an exercise day since June of this year, when I got my gallbladder removed, which is a whole other story I could talk about if I wanted to. I'm not sure if I'll touch on that today, but yeah, I did have to get my gallbladder removed, and obviously you can't exercise when you have stitches in your stomach, because that is very, very bad for you. I actually, you know, overexerted myself slightly when I still had the stitches before they dissolved, and I did actually start to bleed from my stomach, which is very, very bad. Luckily, it wasn't anything crazy. I just tugged on my stitches a little bit and irritated them. But just, if you ever have surgery, please, you know, try your best to heal first. Don't be like me and be, you know, an exercise junkie and immediately start exercising right after, because that's not it. Now, I think that's all I could touch on for exercise, but, you know, you get my point. It's part of my core identity now, I would say, is, you know, like, I don't like to go around and be like, hey, you know, I lost 150 pounds, but when you do that and, you know, you stick with it for a while, it does really become a part of you. And, you know, like, I did lose a lot of weight, and it's very obvious. When you look at my old videos, you know, I was incredibly overweight. If you even look just a year ago, you know, I was very overweight. So now I'm not very overweight. And I would say right now I'm at a weight that I'm pretty comfortable with, pretty happy with. I probably could lose another like 10 pounds, but I think anything more than that would just be too much. Because for my body type, I am like almost 6 feet tall, and I do have quite a bit of muscle on me. So if I, you know, weighed less than like 170, that would probably actually be unhealthy rather than, you know, healthy. So, you know, also keep that in mind when you're losing weight, if you are going to lose weight, or if you're trying to gain weight too. Everyone's body is very different, and the BMI scale is just a very stupid and outdated thing. Like, you can use it as a guideline, but don't use it as a rule. Like, I'm pretty sure that the BMI chart says that for my height and my age and everything, I should be, I think right now I'm considered overweight technically. I think to not be considered overweight, I would have to be 174 or 175, which another 7 pounds like is a decent amount for me right now. Like I could lose that, but I don't think I need to. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind, like especially because it doesn't account for like how muscular you are, and you know you might not be able to see it under my incredibly baggy hoodie that I still have from when I was 332 pounds. But you know, keep that in mind. So, shall we move on? What's some other things to talk about? I do very much like video games. I'm a video game player, and Wizard101 is definitely not my favorite video game of all time, despite it being what my YouTube channel is about. My favorite game of all time is Fallout New Vegas. I would say my second would either be Skyrim or maybe Marvel Spider-Man 1, the PlayStation game that was remastered to PC. And what would be my third? Maybe Jedi Fallen Order could be up there. So a wide range of games, but basically any Bethesda game I do like, and generally, you know, a lot of single player games are my forte. My most played game recently is probably Valorant, but I would never put that in my top 5 favorite games of all time because I actually hate playing Valorant. I'm just addicted to it. So I don't know. I am very much a YouTube watcher. I like watching a lot of YouTube and a lot of Twitch, which, I mean, obviously most people that are probably here or, you know, are my age do. But I watch a lot of YouTube and a lot of Twitch. And, yeah, I don't know. The one interesting thing I guess I could talk about is the fact that in the Wizard101 community, I'm actually incredibly isolated, which I think is very interesting. Like, there's a lot of other content creators, obviously, for Wiz, but I haven't interacted with almost literally any of them. I think the only content creator I've ever really interacted with on a meaningful level has been Formal Phantom, which, rest in peace. He's not dead, but he hasn't uploaded in about 2 years. And, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's one of those things. I don't watch Wizard101 videos, so it's kind of like my entire time playing this game or interacting with this game is really when I'm recording or when I'm live streaming. So the idea of watching videos on top of that, it's almost like too much for me, so I don't really interact with a lot of people because I don't watch any of them, you know? The only reason I really even interacted with Phantom was mainly because he was a very not similar sized YouTuber. He was quite a bit bigger than me at the time. And actually, funny enough, my sub number only surpassed his literally like yesterday. But we were the same age, mostly. I think I was a year older. And had similar attitudes and vibes with the game. So it was just fun to quest through the game with him. Like when we did our Storm live streams, that's some of my favorite memories playing this game in recent times. And some of my favorite memories on YouTube. So I don't know. Go check those out if you haven't. But otherwise, you know, stick here. Let's talk more about what this series is going to be as a whole. Because, you know, I talked a little bit about me. I did a long-winded introduction of me as a whole. You guys are probably tired of hearing about me. You're like, Noah, talk about the game. Let's talk about the series a little bit. I think my current plan is to do Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then a weekend episode and potentially a live stream on the weekend. And some of those I might swap out, so I might have, you know, a day where I live stream instead of uploading a Let's Play. The live streams are probably either going to be side quests that I do, or probably either side quests or streams where I'm like farming or something. So they'll be in the series playlist and you can obviously watch them back whenever you want to, but that's going to be kind of how I go. And then the main series episodes will be me questing through the game, you know, and having a good time. I am skipping a lot of the dialogue in Wizard City because I've seen it 100 times. So if you want to pay attention to dialogue, then go play the game and listen to it yourself. I'm skipping through this dialogue really fast because I'll be honest, again, I've heard this 100,000 times. And just recently in my Death Let's Play, I did kind of read or at least listen to most of the dialogue all the way up to Mushu. So if you have a problem with me skipping dialogue, go watch my Death Let's Play and then tune back in once I reach up Dragonspire, where I'll probably be reading a little bit more than right now. Right now, I'm mostly going to be skipping through it, and then, you know, I'll occasionally probably read one or two things. Like, once I get to Dragonspire, it'll basically be me reading it and then skipping to the next line. So I'll listen to like the first few words, and you know, you can have time to look at it if you want. All right, let me remove Pixie, and I can probably remove this Thunder Snake now. I think this looks good. I'll keep a stun in my deck just in case, because it's kind of funny. I'm going to accept this side quest because, fun fact, if you didn't know, I've mentioned this before, if you don't accept this side quest, she's basically stuck there forever. So accept that side quest, because if you don't, the side quest goes away, and then basically Abby K. Doodle will be literally sitting in Merle Ambrose's office until the end of the game, which is really funny that KingsIsle hasn't fixed that or changed that, but I digress. So these videos, in case you're curious to how these work, is it'll probably be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. I probably won't go over an hour all that much. Today's episode is probably going to be me finishing the first, like, Unicorn Way like I just did, and then probably one of the 3 streets, I would say. And then next episode will be the other 2. And then, I don't know, after that, maybe I'll do a live stream doing Colossus Boulevard and Crab Alley. Alright, pass, and then Snow Serpent. So my plan for this series, I obviously, by the poll, you might have guessed, and by what I said earlier, I kind of touched on a little bit. This is going to be a resist maxing ice. Now, what do I mean by that? Basically, my entire goal for this Ice Wizard is going to be having the most amount of health and the most amount of resist as possible. Now, I'm not going to go out of my way to, like, farm weird sets of gear, but it's just going to be, like, you know, at the forefront of my mind. Like, I'm going to try to get Spellproof and Spell Defying on a pet as soon as possible. I'm going to, you know, focus on having a large amount of resist and survivability, and I'm going to basically show you guys how to get through the game on the worst school. And I don't think it's the worst school, but it is one of the worst schools for soloing, just because you don't do a lot of damage. I mean, I guess I wouldn't call it one of the worst schools, because realistically, like, Balance and Storm might be worse depending on your opinions. It's almost like Storm and Ice are the 2 opposites of bad when it comes to soloing in PvE, because Storm has very low health but a ton of damage, whereas Ice has very low damage but a ton of health. So, you know, one has survivability, one has damage. And I would say the other 5 schools are probably maybe not better, but soloing wise, they can be better. Cease talking to me, Gamma. I don't care. This has one of the funnier jokes in Wizard City, which is, it's kind of funny because Wizard City doesn't, it's not really funny anymore because they kind of took out all of the content and then replaced it with these, like, unfunny, I don't want to say children, like, jokes designed for children, but they definitely kind of PG-ified Wizard City and made it a little bit more cartoony and childish. And a lot of the jokes just don't land. You know, it's one of those things where, like, you know, they have an NPC called Lizzo Firespitter, and that's already an outdated reference. Like, Lizzo's already kind of not as mainstream as, you know, like 5 years ago when they made that change. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do Firecat Alley in this episode. And the next episode will be Triton Avenue, Cyclops Lane, and then finishing up Wizard City. That'll be how I split it. So I'll split Wizard City into 2 episodes. I'll probably do a live stream on Colossus Boulevard and Crab Alley. And then I'll try to get through Croc as fast as possible, because I'll be honest, I don't really like Croc anymore. It's kind of fallen off for me as one of my favorite worlds.
You're that Unicorn Way hero wizard.
Yes, I am. This guy's such a weenie boy now. Like, if you haven't played the old game, like, if you're a completely new player and you're watching this, fun fact, Private Quinn, basically, he used to be this, like, Giga Chad guy. Oh, that's a weird graphical glitch. He used to be this Giga Chad guy whose entire, like, purpose was that he was a friend of the Fire Elves, and they were going under, like, a curse. And that curse, by the way, was not being a theater kid, in case you were curious. And it turned out that, you know, he wanted to help them, and he was friends with Prince Alicane, and his entire thing was, like, you know, he was, like, a guy that really wanted to help the Fire Elves, but he really couldn't because it was a curse, and he doesn't know anything about curses because he's just a regular guard. Well, nowadays, he's kind of a soft weenie boy who's like, I need your help, wizard. Everything's going wrong. And, like, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Everything is going wrong. But, like, come on, man. Be better. Get some help. Now, I'm trying to think. What can I talk? I could talk about my Wizard 101 history, because I feel like maybe a lot of you don't really know that anymore. Like, I feel like that's old Kaiser Noah lore, you know what I mean? In terms of... So I started playing this game in November of 2011. I was introduced to the game with my cousin. We basically created my main account together, and, you know, it wasn't really account sharing because we played it at the same time every time, and then eventually he just stopped playing. So it wasn't like account sharing because he never signed in. It was literally just we would play it and he was next to me and we'd switch off, you know, you get the point. Well, my first ever wizard was a fire named Blaze Dawnbreeze, and fire, you know, it's near and dear to my heart. And I thought it was so funny when, like, it was in one of my most recent videos. Some guy commented, because I talked about fire from above, and I talked about how it's bad now, and someone was like, before you trash talk fire, you should actually play the school. And I thought that was so funny, because, like, it was my first school. Like, I have the right to trash talk fire more than, you know, most other people in this game, because I've been playing fire since not since its inception, but since the first time I ever played this game. And I loved the school, you know. As a kid, it was one of my favorites, and you know, I took the test and I got fire. It was my school. You know what I mean? Now, I played the game for a while, but I didn't really play the game. I was a very stupid kid and I didn't really know how to navigate the game or how it worked. So I kind of like fumbled my way through the game and I got stuck a lot. Now, the prime example of this is that in Krokotopia, there is a quest to collect glacial shards from glacial avengers. And that quest back in the day, nowadays I think you only need to collect 2 or 3. Back in the day, you had to collect 8, and the drop rate was incredibly, incredibly low. Like, I think I actually managed to kill, like, 20 of them, and I only had, like, 5. Like, I was not only unlucky, but the drop rate was low. It was a combination of both. Now, on top of that, I was also not good enough at the game to know how to kill them very frequently, which you'd think they were ice and I was fire. That would, you know, I would have an advantage, but they spammed Fire Shield. As a kid, I just didn't know how to deal with that, which, I mean, nowadays it's like, surely you just use DOT spells, but as a kid, I didn't know that. God, I hate the new Fire Elves so much. I'm forced to listen to their fire for fiddles, and it's like, it just pisses me off. Like, why? Why would they change the Fire Elves to be like this? It's so annoying. Anyways, rant over. I played my fire for a while. I finally got him past the Glacial Avenger quest. I was stuck on that for months, by the way, in case you were curious. And, back as a kid, I used to sit in Krokotopia and just listen to the music. I think I probably had 100+ hours this game's playtime where I just sat in Krokotopia and listened to the music, like next to the lift in the Chamber of Fire, the one that goes up and down constantly. And there's that like giant horn in the background. It's just, everything about it brings back so many memories. And it's why Krokotopia is one of the most nostalgic worlds for me. See that? I just stunned him. Get wrecked. Nerd. Easy. Loser. Yeah, so there was that, and then I quested through the game. The first time I ever maxed out my wizard was at the end of Chrysalis in 2015, I believe, right before Polaris came out. So to put that into perspective, I played the game for 4 years and never hit the max level once. I never maxed out in, like, I think that's Avalon, Azteca, and Chrysalis that all came out in that time, and I didn't max out until, you know, 5 years after I started playing. And, yeah, I just struggled. I don't think I even had Darkmoor gear until, like, 2016, despite it coming out in 2014. I didn't have a good pet or anything. I was horrible at the game, just generally. And then it wasn't until like 2017 or so I started making other wizards and started questing them up. Like, I made my Death Wizard, which my Death is one of my 2 level 170s. And then I think it was in 2020 or 2019 where I started questing on my Myth. It was actually like right around when I created my channel is when I started questing on my Myth. And I got him up to max as well. So I have 2 max wizards. I have my Myth and my Death at level 170 each. I have a Fire at 160 and Ice at 160. And then I have very miscellaneous other things. I have like a 130 balance. I have a level 90 life. What am I missing in terms of schools? A Storm? I don't have a Storm Wizard. Actually, I do have a Storm Wizard from the live walkthrough with Phantom, but I haven't quested on him since, so there's that. I think that's every school, yeah. So basically, I have 2 maxes. Many people have many more than I do, but, you know. I only play Wizard101 for the PvE content. I always have. I hate PvP with a passion. I've probably talked about it in length before, but I find PvP in this game to be incredibly unfun, and it's even more unfun than it was 5 years ago when I made that opinion. I can't even say 5 years, like 10 years ago when I made that opinion. As a kid, I sucked at PvP because I didn't know what I was doing, and I just didn't find it fun. And then KingsIsle slowly made PvP worse and worse to the point where nowadays it's kind of just like a pay-to-win slog where, you know, there's advanced combat and gambits and Rochambeau, all things I just don't care about. Oh my god. Cease talking to me. Now, the plans for this series, basically, if I see anyone, a sigil, or if I feel like I need help on a fight, I will hop into their battle, or, you know, I'll like, join a sigil with someone else. The sun is blinding me right now. Because I think it's a lot more fun to play this game, you know, with other people. So, I'm sure, you know, maybe once I get up to, like, the final fights of certain worlds, I might do live streams on them, you know, like maybe a live episode where it's like a 30-40 minute stream where I beat the final boss. Like, I'm thinking that's going to come into play probably around Polaris and Chrysalis, maybe. Like, the final areas of Polaris, like the rat fight, is genuinely pretty hard. So, I'm sure that's when I'll start to be like, okay, you know, I might need some help. Go on! Cease. I don't care. Should I join this fight? I feel like I shouldn't. I feel like those guys look like they almost finished the fight, so I'm not going to join it. I'll be a little polite. I wish Snow Serpent did a little bit more damage, but that's fine. Okay, I fizzled my stun spell. That's tragic. Yeah, so I don't think it's... this series, the whole point of it isn't to do anything like particularly challenging. I'm not a big fan of challenge runs in Wiz just because I already find the gameplay loop like not necessarily engaging, but I don't find the idea of a challenge to be fun. I'm already challenging myself by playing Ice. I don't need to do anything like more than that, like permadeath or no bazaar, whatever. I'd say one caveat that I'm saying here. Okay, I fizzled again. That sucks. One caveat to this series is basically I'm going to be doing this entirely crowns free. I'm not going to be spending crowns on pack gear probably at any point. I'm going to be doing almost completely free to play. I have a permanent mount actually in my shared bank that I'll probably go get between either between episodes or I'll just go get it like in this episode. But I have no mana. Should I use my potion? I'm going to use my potion. Okay, that guy's almost dead, so I don't want to join his fight. I don't want to be rude, you know what I'm saying? Noah Snowvenom is not a rude man. He's a polite player. So I'm trying to think, like, other things about my Wizard101 history, not really anything in particular that's too interesting. I made my first, like, official Wizard101 video when I started uploading daily in April of 2019, which was over 6 years ago now. So I was 16 years old, I believe. Wait, no, I can't count. I was 17. I was 16 turning 17 when I made my first thing, which, funny enough, was a Let's Play series. So, officially, it has been, 6 years since I've made my first episode of my first Let's Play series, the Balanced Let's Play series, which is the furthest I've ever gotten with one. I got all the way up to Polaris. I do plan on finishing this one or getting pretty far with this one, because I do want to max out on console. So even just my own drive to have a max wizard on console should get me through this playthrough. And, finding other people to quest with, I'm sure I'll find them throughout playing the game. And, maybe I'll quest with them for a while. Like, you guys will see some recurring characters in the video, potentially. If not, then, that's fine, too. We'll see how it goes. Let me grab some of that. I'm going to throw on this ring. An extra 10 health probably isn't going to help, but... Let me snag all these reagents in case I do crafting. Which, I'll probably do some kind of crafting. I don't think I'll make it a focus, but... Okay, rotting fodder and collect Herkimer stones. I think how I'm going to do this is I'm going to... I'll probably do some streams where I do side quests, and I'll probably do some off camera as well, depending on what I'm feeling in the moment. Side quests should be pretty fun to do, to be honest. The only reason why I'm not super excited to do side quests right now is because I just did them all on my death. Like, the Let's Play series on my death, I got up to episode 20, and in episode 20, by that point, I was level 49 in Mushu, and I had done every side quest all the way from Wizard City to Mushu. So obviously, I was quite invested in the side quest. I don't know about this time if I will again, but we'll see. I'm going to be trying to do side quests. I just don't know if I'm going to be doing as much. And the other thing I'm not sure about is Grizzleheim. I'm not sure if I want to do that, like how I want to do that. I might do that in like a live episode thing, because I'm just not a big fan of Grizzleheim. So I would rather do it with other people. So maybe I'll, maybe I'll do that on stream instead. See, I hate that side quest so much. Just because of that lady. I don't know which King's Isle dev thought that she would be funny, but she's not. And she also has unskippable dialogue, so I'm forced to listen to her unfunniness. Like, and that's just a sin. Alright, let me yoink one of these rotting fodders. Kane Voidsteel. That's a metal ass name, I'm not gonna lie to you. Alright, I should be able to one-shot rotting fodders, which is good. Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to be able to really get that much resist too early. I think the first bit of resist I'm going to be able to get is Heartsteel, which I do have a Heartsteel. It'll probably be the only crowns item I use in this entire playthrough, which, if you don't have a Heartsteel, I highly recommend buying one. If not, you can farm them from, I believe, Prince Gobblestone and Lord Nightshade, but they do drop them extremely infrequently, so if you want, you can just spend 260 crowns, I believe it is, on it. And 260 crowns is not a lot. If you buy $5, that's only, what's 10% of $5? Like 50 cents? Take a Herkimer stone. I meant to leave a mark. I should have left a mark, but I didn't leave a mark. That's tragic. So I think the plan is these are going to be largely unedited. I'll probably edit out or potentially pause the video whenever I have to do a defeat and collect quest where I don't collect right away, so it's just the same battle again. Or maybe sometimes I won't, depending on what I'm feeling in the moment. But generally, it'll be largely unedited, so it's going to be you listening to me ramble. It's going to be podcast style, you know what I'm saying? Like, just talking into the mic for a while, talking about me, talking about my life, talking about whatever's happening in the game. And I can, if you want to recommend me something to talk about, like if you want to hear me ramble about, PvP, or you want to hear me ramble about Azteca for an episode, or generally anything like that, I am willing to do that, because I do enjoy talking. This might be a surprise to hear from a YouTuber, but I enjoy talking. So, yeah. I don't mind talking for sure. Let me leave a mark. Make sure I use the right thing and not, you know, go all the way back home. That's scary. He turns to me in a menacing way, that magma man. The Wizard101 music is so nostalgic. Wizard City a little bit less so because they did change the music about 5 years ago. And, I mean, obviously it's kind of the same music. It's just remixed and remastered and done with some different instruments. But, like, certain tracks don't exist anymore, and it is such a shame, man. Like, none of you new players are ever going to be able to hear the, anyone in Team Up? There is no one in Team Up right now. You going to Ryan Crow song? Oh, that's Rika, not Ryan. You going in, Rika? Or you're not going in? What are you doing? What are you doing, Heartache Ho? Huh? Huh? You going in or what? Okay, I think that they're questing together and they want me to wait for them. Okay, I'm gonna sit here and wait for them. I'll be back once Kane Voidsteel is done murdering that person. Okay, guys, status update just real fast. I'm gonna have to wait out this minute again. I'm so confused. Okay, wait, he's coming back. Rika was standing here, asked, would you like some help twice? Kane said wait multiple times, so I waited, got on the sigil, he got a chest, and then ran away, which confused the hell out of me. Now he's back, but I'm in a team up with Jesse and Belgrim here. So we're going into a team up. Maybe Kane will get the message. Go into the team up, Kane. Kane, go into the team up, Kane. Together we can take down Bastilla Gravewind. Look, team up, team up, team up. Do it. Kane, Kane, Kane. He's a lost cause, boys. He's a lost cause. Alright, we're about to go in a second, but Kane here is just very confused. He's not getting my message to join Team Up, which is just a bit unfortunate. If he joins in the next 2 seconds... Nope, he doesn't know. He's not a knower. I don't want to hear you. I'm skipping your dialogue. Alright, we got Belgrim here. Also known as Seaman V8. And Jesse Fallen King, which is a metal-ass name. Alright, so we're gonna test something, alright? It's Wizard City. Surely I can stun this boss. She's stun immune in Wizard City. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Yikes. That's a yikes moment from me right there. How? Someone needs to tell me. How is Bastilla Gravewind in Wizard City stun immune? I talked about this last episode, or last video. Sorry, I said last episode, but last video with Myth. How is a boss in the first world of the game stun immune? Think on that for a minute. It doesn't, just make it make sense, King's. Make it make sense. Yeah, this guy's got like a full set of Guardian gear. With an elegant hat, he's already ready for the stitch. And he's got a Professor's Horpack wand. That guy's going crazy. The life guy put a life pierce on himself, which is a strange move. Because nobody resists life. And I don't think Bastilla can even put a life shield on herself. Maybe she can. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. It was really funny on my video when I talked about console edition succeeding. I literally mentioned 20 seconds into the video. I was like, it was funny because I made a video like 7 months ago saying that I was wrong, and then someone in the comments went, "Bro, you got to admit that you were wrong about console," and I'm like, did you skip the first 20 seconds? I get maybe skipping like around a little bit once you get into the video, but the first 20 seconds? Surely not, right? Surely not. But you know what? I'm used to dealing with some strange-ass YouTube comments, so... what can I say? Alright, so we're spamming death spells on the death boss. I don't want to be that guy, but if you use those on the fire elves, this would probably go a lot better. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. I'm not gonna complain. I'm being helped. And you know what? In my death playthrough, excuse me. In my death playthrough, I died to Bastilla Gravewind like 6 times. So, not dying here. Can't die when there's 3 people in the battle at once. I mean, I can, but I probably won't, which is, you know, good. Okay, I'm gonna kill the second one. Guys, we're all at 300 health. Okay, well, Belgrim is about to be not at 300 health because he's healing himself. What a selfish prick. Alright. Please don't fizzle. Nice. Alright, I officially have 2 kills, which is 2 more than any of you have. So, can we please pick up our game here? You guys gotta step it up. So, as an Ice Wizard, and I think part of the reason why you guys wanted to see me play Ice, because Ice kind of sucks. I don't get a Blade until level 38. Which is, since, sorry, I stopped thinking properly. Since console version doesn't have the new XP buff update that PC version has, you can no longer get to, like, level 30 at the end of Marleybone. So I'm not going to be level 38 until probably, like, mid-Mushu. I mean, if I do some side quests, that should be a little bit earlier than that. But even if I do a bunch of side quests, I'm still going to not be level 38 until probably Mushu. Like, I don't think even if I did all the Marleybone side quests, I can hit 38 in Marleybone. Maybe. We can see. I mean, obviously, if I do Winter Tusk early, I can, but we'll see how it goes. New message. New Instagram message. You guys don't understand the sheer disappointment I just felt when I opened it in my Instagram messages and it's my grandmother sending me an AI-generated image saying Happy Halloween of a skeleton dancing. You guys don't understand the sheer, like, there was a pit in my stomach, my heart sunk. Old people. Okay, I think Jesse went AFK, which is a little annoying. Hurry up. Hold up. Hold up. Battle. Battle orders. Can you not? Wait. Battle. Battle orders. No, you can't battle order in this? What? They removed that? I wanted to tell Jesse to hit. But he went AFK. That's so sad. I'm devastated. Also, you guys are getting a little bit spoiled today, because this is going to be like an hour-long first episode. Which is pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys like me rambling for a bit. You know, even if this gets less views than the other guide videos and opinion videos and stuff I make, I'll still be happy, you know? Like, I still enjoy all of the interactions with people, and it's going to be so fun to live stream some of this, I think. Because, you know, playing the game with people who either haven't played it a lot or, you know, are interested in playing more, generally is going to be very fun. So, man, I still didn't leave a mark. I'm really slowing this down. If I left a mark and I had a mount, I probably wouldn't be like 49 minutes. It would probably be like 46 right now. Like, I've definitely lost 3 minutes of time on my splits to just walking. It's horrible. It's devastating. Oh, wait, I did have a mark. I left a mark. This whole time I've had a mark. Someone's gonna point that out. I can already feel it. Someone in the comments is going to be like, Noah, you left a mark. And you know what? You're so right. I did leave a mark. That's my bad. I didn't remember doing that. All right, let me go into my shared bank and go into, nope, shared bank, shared bank, shared bank, shared bank. There we go. Go into my mounts. What mount do I want? Do I want the Halloween mount? I managed to get this Halloween mount, which isn't my favorite, but I like it. I'm going to go for the bat wings, I think. Because I think the bat wings are kind of cool. They're not my favorite, but out of the mounts I have, they're probably my favorite. So let me backpack. I'm not gonna lie, I think the UI controls, like getting into my backpack and stuff, are still the controls I'm most confused about. Like, I mean, I'm not confused about them, but I definitely mix them up as I'm trying to do them compared to, you know, every other control. Like the movement controls, smooth, I'm fine. I just realized the loyalty rewards guy is not here. That sucks. No loyalty tokens for us. Kind of sucks.
Hello.
Hello, young wizard. Alright, let me... I'm gonna also snag the crafting quest while I'm at it. And then go to my mark, because I did leave a mark, didn't I? I'm sure, absolutely sure, that someone was screaming in their head that I left a mark outside of Greta Dark Kettle. Someone was like, Noah, you left a mark right there. Come on, man.
Everything on the list? Ooh, that equipment is nice enough for an app. There we are.
There we
Now
are.
Give me the post. Wow.
Yo, this dude's name is Sloan. Like the town in the hit Obsidian game Fallout New Vegas. Right next to Quarry Junction with the Death Claws. Everything I see reminds me of him. Him being Fallout New Vegas. Alright, what's poppin' here? We got anyone in team up? Yo, we got Bow Air. That is a banger in-game name. I'm going to pause until we're in with Bow Air. Alright, we're back. The Bow Air unfortunately left the team up, and then I was about to join with Sloan, but then Dennis and Kane rocked up to the battle, ready to go. So I joined their sigil instead. So we're gonna finish off Firecat Alley with a bang, with Kane Voidsteel and Dennis Donnerfaust. My goats. Alright, we're about to test a theory. Can Prince Alicane Swift Arrow be stunned in Wizard 101? Tune in to find out. Also, should I just close my curtain? Yeah, that's better. Okay. I had it open because, you know, the lighting is better, but when I close it, you guys can actually see me and there's not a giant square on me. My bad. I'll remember that. Prince Alicane Swift Arrow is in fact stun immune. Tune in next episode for Is General Achilles stun immune? Awesome. Yikes. Yikes. Alright, I'm taking out Magma Man number 3. I mean, okay, I'm sure I'm not gonna take him out. I'm gonna need 2 hits to do it, but that's alright. Now, question, do you guys think that there's level 5 ice gear in the bazaar, and should I even bother getting it? I feel like as long as I team up with other people for the boss fights, I should be fine. And also, man, I'm seeing what you guys mean by death being such an oversaturated school. Like, people were talking about in me ranking the schools, or like some of the other videos around that with Console Edition. People were talking about how in Console Edition everyone is a Death Wizard, and so far you guys are right. I think I have only teamed up with other... No, there was a Life Wizard. But there is just a lot of Death Wizards. You guys are right. A bit unfortunate. But, I mean, I imagine that anyone who wanted to know what school to pick went to a YouTube video and went like, hey, what's the best school to pick in Wizard 101 Console Edition? And then most videos probably said death, mine included. So I imagine that's where it comes from. If not, it probably comes from older players who played on PC who know that Death is probably the best school right now. Alright, let me take out Magma Man. Dennis is taking out other Magma Man. So we only have Prince Alicane and another Magma Man. Magma Men. You guys remember when you used to have to collect a charred knife from the Magma Man? And it would take like 30 battles sometimes. It used to be the charred knife and the rune skull in Firecat and... Oh. He healed me! Kane, you legend. Wait. Friendly. Oh, wait, no. There's thanks down here. Thanks. Thanks, Kane. I think my biggest, the biggest flaw with this game, and I'm sure most of you agree with this, is navigating menu chat is just so damn clunky on a controller. Good teamwork. What did he say? You're welcome. Okay, he said you're welcome. Nice. What if I use Ice Assist into Frost Beetle? Use them both at the same time. Yeah, see, he's feeling me. Dennis is feeling me right now. He knows my inner thoughts, the inner machinations of my mind. And he said, yes, I will combo with you right now. And I didn't fizzle. Look at me go. Now hold up. Peep this shit. Yo, that's my goat. What quest are you working on? Hold up. Hold up. I know the perfect thing to say right now. Born to fish. Forced to school. Hold up. I'm gonna heal Kane back. He doesn't need it because he's a death wizard who's about to use Ghoul. But I'm gonna heal him anyway because I reciprocate, you know? Oh, he's not about to use Ghoul. He's about to use Dark Sprite. This is big from Kane, my goat. 139? I mean, honestly, that is pretty big. Boom. Look at that. This team right here, we could run this entire game all the way from start to back really easily because we are the goats like that. You're welcome. All right, Ghoul to taking him out. Go for it, Dennis. Hell yeah, that's Dennis right there. That's my man. Dennis. All right, nice. So it only took us 58 minutes. Hold up. I must read the history of fire magic. And then go back to Greta Dark Kettle. And then we'll call this episode here for today. It's almost an hour long, which is definitely longer than initially my first video was on my Death Let's Play. But I'm going to be probably doing this a little bit different. Console's going to be a bit different in general. Like, the speeds that we're going at are going to be a bit different. I think I might record 2 of these today, maybe. We'll see. And we'll do a Friday, Saturday upload, and then Sunday could be a live stream, and I'll also upload a video. Except this side quest, because why not? I think that's the play. Alright. Great balls of fire! You know, I might do the Halloween quests in between episodes. If only because I haven't done them since I was a kid, and also they'll give me, like, a bit of gold. Like, not a lot of gold, don't get me wrong. But, like, that gold in the beginning, if I do all of those quests right at the beginning, it's, like, enough gold where it might actually be good. Like, it might get me to, like, 1,000, which isn't horrible. Hello. Hello, young wizard. Oh, and we are now stuck. And my voice is breaking because I've been talking for an hour. All right. Well, that's it for today's episode. We got to level 7. We finished up Unicorn Way and Firecat Alley. Next episode, we're going to be finishing up Triton Avenue and Cyclops Lane, and probably also the rest of Wizard City. So Next episode might also be like an hour long. We'll see. And then again, I will stream in the coming days. So if you enjoyed, make sure to drop a like, hit the sub button. You can also join to become a channel member to get some of these episodes a few days early if you want to. If not, that's fine as well. Just keep watching them normally and stay tuned. Otherwise, that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode. Have a fantastic day. Do I wait 2 more seconds? I wait 2 more seconds.